2 Sudanese rebel leaders were arrested early on Saturday, opposition sources said, shortly after visiting Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, who is trying to mediate in a crisis threatening a transition to democracy. Abiy had on Friday urged Sudan's military rulers and civilian opposition to exercise bravery in trying to agree steps toward democracy after the worst bloodshed since the overthrow in April of President Omar al-Bashir. The Ethiopian premier visited days after Sudanese forces stormed a protest camp outside the defense ministry in Khartoum where demonstrators were demanding civilian rule. Dozens of people have been killed since Monday. 2 opposition figures who were at Friday's meeting with Abiy said Ismail Jalab, Secretary-General of the Sudan People's Liberation Movement North SPLMN, and the armed group's spokesman Mubarak Ardal were detained a few hours later. Abiy offered to mediate after the opposition Declaration of Freedom and Change Forces DFCF alliance's talks with the Transitional Military Council TMC over who will lead a transition period before elections had ground to a halt, then collapsed altogether after the raid on the protest camp. Opposition medics say 113 people were killed in the storming of the camp and subsequent security crackdown. The government has put the week's death toll at 61. Including 3 members of the security services. On Wednesday, SPLMN deputy head Yasser Arman was detained by security services at his house in Khartoum, the organization said. He had returned from exile after Bashir was toppled by the military, 30 years after he took power in a bloodless coup. Arman had been sentenced to death in absentia for his part in a rebellion against Bashir.